Welcome to Vampire Radio! You are listening or watching Vampire Radio. I am your hostess with the mostest, Shelly from Kelly. And of course, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, the podcast dog, Minnie the Moocher. I don't know what's going on with my lighting today. You know me, Shelly and my lighting. It's dark. I don't know why. Hopefully I can fix it, but I don't know. I think I just had to roll with it. Anyways, I hope you guys had a good week. Here I am once again with another tardy episode, because that's just how life is. But hey, be glad you're getting yourself a damn episode, because I went to the farmer's market today because I'm obsessed with going to the farmer's market now. We'll get into that in a second. But I got sun drunk out there. I don't feel good. I feel better now than I did before. But dude, as soon as I got home, I was so out of it. I didn't feel good. But that's the summer, baby. So I went to Iowa a couple weeks ago, and I will say this. I will take this dry heat over humidity. I have dipped my toe in humidity when I was doing professional wrestling, whether it was in WWE and I was in Louisville or Orlando for TNA or on the indies scattered all over. Some people, see, here's the thing. Some people will say, I don't know how you can be in the dry heat. So I guess it just depends on what you're used to, really. But it is not for me. So I will take this dry heat all day long over humidity. So let's talk about the farmer's market, shall we? Now, I'm not late to the game or anything. I've lived, like the last quite a few places I've lived is near a farmer's market. And not only that, but I love the 3rd and Fairfax farmer's market. It's iconic. If you want to look it up, you like SoCal history, I definitely think you should look it up. But anyways, so I'm more into it now than ever, though, to go weekly and make that commitment and be one of those people, because I just feel better about it, buying from the farmers. Now, when I have to, I'm going to have to go to the grocery store. But when I don't have to, I'm going to the damn farmer's market, okay? So I knew I had to get up early today. I had a really late night. I'm not even going to get into it. So I had a really late night. I didn't sleep well. I tried to get up early, but I slept in a little bit, which it sucks because it pushes the time back of getting at the farmer's market, where it's on the blacktop, the one I go to, and it gets super hot, especially they try to put some shade out, but it's hard, especially at this time of year. And August, September is like the worst here in SoCal. I don't know about you, but where you're at, but it's like, in my opinion, the worst as far as the heat level goes. So I was trying to avoid going there late, but I did, because it was real cute. I was like, okay, in the morning, I'm going to get up and then go to the farmer's market, get what I need to get. No lollygagging, and then come home, get ready, do Vampire Radio, and then after that, edit it, put it up, and then do my shoot. So it was real cute. It was real cute and ambitious of me, if you will. But that freaking, first of all, I got what I needed at the farmer's market. Great. Then afterwards, I went to get something to eat, and they just kind of millie-moused around for a little bit, and then came home. That's when I realized, dude, even though I wasn't gone that long, that sun got me because I left too late. That's the moral of the story, is I left too freaking late. So it's on me that I overheated today, and I still don't feel very well. So I'm going to be off we're all used to me being off, but today I'm going to be really off. So consider yourself warned. So I blame myself for overheating because I left too late. I know better, but I had to sleep. I needed that extra sleep. I kind of regret nothing. I don't regret the sleep. I just wish I left at least like an hour earlier. It would have made a world of difference. So I'm just going to try the best I can. I'm probably going to be off in this entire episode. Sorry about that. But hey, consider yourself warned. So, did you catch the smoke out last week? Did you watch it live? Did you watch the replay? Have you not watched it at all? Let me know in the comments of wherever you're commenting on this video right now. So last week was really cool for me because I was having such a week leading up to the smoke out, and I'm just really dealing with a lot, especially I'm just gonna be real with you guys, feeling kind of betrayed and I don't know, disappointed. It's like a whole thing, dude. And this keeps happening to me, and it's fine. It happens. It's life, right? But it's just really draining, and I care so much about my people. So when I have some static with my people, it really bugs me. So going into the smoke out, I was already like in a weird vibe, and I was hoping that the smoke out, which it typically does, would bring me out of that energy. So if you missed it or you need a little refresher, here's the short version. So we watched some wrestling, brother, sister, and it was really awesome because leading up to the smokeout, Stoner Jesus and I were getting prepared what we wanted to talk about on the show. And I had sent him a match that I wanted to talk about on the show. I made a tweet. I was going to say an X, a tweet, whatever you call it, okay? So I made a post about when I was doing the indies full time, I came across this wrestler that used that entrance, for his entrance music, that song Jukebox Hero. And to this day, I always think about it when he came out because training with the guy, he was kind of quiet or whatever. But when he came out to Jukebox Hero and it was at the beginning, doom, 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 like everyone was getting into it and the energy. And that's what I just live for when it comes to professional wrestling. It's telling a good story, but you know what? And connecting with the audience, but where you can make or break yourself is in that entrance. Take it from me. It sets the mood for the entire match. Now, you can have somebody or you can have where the entrances weren't really whatever and still have a really good match and get everyone invested. But if you can get them for the second, in this case, the dude wasn't even outside of the curtain. I was going to say the second they go out the curtain. In this case, he wasn't even there. And the crowd was always because of the song and they knew he was coming. So I was talking about that experience and how, because Jukebox Hero was on, and I wanted to share that like fun wrestling tidbit with people on my feed. And RJ from the Reffing It Up podcast, he interacted with it, and that's when he showed me this entrance of Grado. Now, when I watched it, I was so into it, dude. I felt like a fan, and then it turned from me feeling like a fan to the worker in me, right? The wrestler in me. And I was just like, yes, dude, like, yes. And I used to do this thing, a character, Funtime Shelly, some of you probably remember. And that was me going back my second round into doing the indies in 2011. So during that time, I was having so much fun with wrestling. I fell in love with it. The Funtime Shelly character was something I really wanted to just be my new persona because it was me. I was excited to be in the ring. I was excited and whatever. So it was showing people who know the Salinas or the Ariel character, showing those people another side of me, you know what I mean? And it was so much fun. And whether I was Funtime Shelly wrestling or reffing, it was awesome. And when I watched that Grado YouTube clip, it made me think of this specific match that I think about all the effing time. And it was when I first started to do the Funtime Shelly gimmick. And it was at NWA Hollywood here in SoCal. And it was against Lucky O'Shea. And throughout the years, I think about that match all the time because I remember how I felt. I remember how I felt going into the, like, behind the scenes. I remember how I felt in the ring. I remember how I felt afterwards. And just really where I was at that freaking light was glitching out. Anyways, I was just that energy. And there's just different times for different reasons throughout the years. I've always thought about that specific match. And it was so crazy because I had no idea that on Stoner Jesus, he has some other podcasts that he has some other podcasts that he does. And he had interviewed Lucky and he was telling me about it. And I'm like, sitting here, I just watched the Grado thing. I just was triggered to think about that match. And then here he is bringing her up. And I'm like, wait, what? So we talk all about it in detail. It's really, really fun. So go check out the latest Smokeout. If you need to figure out how you can see it, just go to ShellySJSmokeout.com. All the links are there. So it was really awesome to not only share that experience with Stoner Jesus, but with everybody watching, because I think it's really important because I don't know what the hell's going on over here in the Bat Cave. I don't know if there's some hitchhiking ghosts in here or what. But anyways, I think it's really important for if there was anyone that's in the wrestling business to hear that story, especially if there's somebody that is in the wrestling business and, you know, maybe has had some ups and downs with it and lost having fun with it, you can get it back. You can do it on your own terms. Here's the thing. I ended up going sour on the business again just because of personal situations and things like that were going on. But that's just life, right? The point is I've said this so many times, and I know some people are probably so over hearing me say this. You don't have to be on TV with one of these companies that's on TV to be successful in pro wrestling. Like, there's so, especially nowadays, dude, there's so much more opportunities for people that know, even if it's just nothing to do with wrestling, but maybe some kind of project needs somebody that can fall or do a fight scene. Like, there's just so many different avenues. Now you have, everyone has a podcast. So there's that, and the learning and growing, like, it doesn't ever stop. And I feel that people, they get so, and I get it if you're disappointed when you don't get that contract or whatever, but I feel they get so distracted with the disappointment that they're not able to embrace fully and see what's right in front of them, man. And it's sad because I see it all the time. All right, I think this is a good time to take a little music break, don't you think? So the other day, a video made its way to my feed, and it was Nick Lachey and his wife, Vanessa. Ooh, what's her name? The Doritos girl. And I should know her name. No, it's Allie. Wait, no. Wait. Who is Nick Lachey married to? See, I shouldn't have second guessed myself. It is Vanessa Lachey. They have a reality show. I don't know if this is an old video, so I don't know if they still currently have a show or it was a show. But anyways, they're giving couples, I think married couples or people who are going to get married, I don't know exactly, advice. And the reason why this made its way to my feed is because it was a highlight clip of Nick Lachey talking about when he was married to Jessica Simpson. Now look, I was very invested in their reality show and I wanted them to work out. When I saw this video clip and I was like, before I pushed play, I was like, I wish him and Jessica Simpson worked out. But then I saw the clip. I wish I could show it to you guys here, but I'll probably get flagged. So instead, I'm going to tell you about it. So in the video, he was talking to somebody else, and I think the guy that he was talking to, if I remember correctly, was having second thoughts about getting married, not because he already had been married before, and like it was a whole thing. So that's when Nick opened up about a little bit about his view on that and how he was married before and how the person he's with now, he wouldn't have been able to get to that person without learning the lessons pretty much he did with Jessica. I thought it was really, really cool and what he had to say. And that's when I was like, okay, Nick Lachey, I'm going to let go of you and Jessica. And because I hate that for your wife too, because so many people probably say it. They probably even post it to her social media. Like, you should be with Jessica. But no, bitch, no. Because what I saw, that little clip, I'm like, yes, I understand. And the reason why I understand is because I've been there. Now, I've talked about this many, many, many times. I accidentally got married once. It was right before I got signed to WWE, about 6 months or so before. And long story short as I can make it, If you want to know the details, I'll tell the story again. I've said it many times. Just let me know in the comments. But anyways, I was with this dude, knew him for 2 months. We went to Vegas and got married. Elvis was walking me down the aisle. Nobody was there. I was wearing a black dress. When I saw the dude's face light up when I was walking down the aisle with Elvis, I knew that I was doing the wrong thing and that I needed to leave immediately. But when I saw the look on his face, I didn't want to hurt his feelings. So I went ahead with the marriage. Did you hear what I said? I didn't want to hurt his feelings. So instead of doing the right thing that my gut was telling me that this is not what I should be doing, this is not my person, I went along with it anyways. And I tried to make it work. And I realized later, when I got to know him a little bit more, that we actually weren't a good match after all. It got really messy in the sense of when I went to OVW, I ended up cheating on the guy. I totally got busted because of phone records. The whole 9 yards. We ended up being married for like 12 years because I was doing my thing. So I know this might sound really stupid, and it is. I just wasn't thinking of it. And it's so funny because when I was in the fake ECW, Francine used to tell me, you need to get a divorce. What if you make a lot of money here and he goes after it? So it was just one of those things. I had no help. So I had to do everything on my own. And what eventually happened is when I finally got it finalized, I already had moved back to California. I was doing wrestling on the weekend, but dude, it was rough. Like I was barely getting by. So, and I didn't have a car at the time. So I would take the freaking Metrolink to downtown LA, to the courthouse area. And I would take these classes for people that were low income that can't afford for all the fees for a divorce. And I had to sit there and do these classes to like get it for free, get the free fees waived. It was a lot, dude. It was so much. But dude, for 12 years, I was married. But I feel, and I know this might sound silly, if things didn't go down the way they did, I'm totally a butterfly effect person. I am pretty sure I would have married somebody else. And it would have taken me off course of meeting Metal Jesus. And anything in my life that would have taken me off course of meeting Metal Jesus, I don't want. I don't care how much, like, if I felt passion, like wrestling, for example, anything that didn't happen for me in wrestling or like whatever, I'm okay with it. It sucks, but I'm okay with it because if anything took me off course from meeting that man, I don't want it. I want nothing to do with it because what I learned, whether it was from the guy I accidentally married up until meeting Metal Jesus, is everything that somebody that was very meaningful and I had a strong connection with in my past, there was always something about like the connection or the relationship or them or whatever that they couldn't give me everything I needed. I remember once there was this guy, comes from a well-known family, and I mention that because usually when people come from well-known families, in my experience with them, they don't talk like this. But I remember I had such a crush on him. I just wanted to hook up with him so bad. I wanted him to be my boyfriend. And I remember he told me, he's like, you know, Shot, I really, really, really like you, but I just can't give you what you deserve. And I remember at the time thinking, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, let's, how do you know? And let's like, whatever. Because we were friends, you know? So he was just like, no, I just can't give you what you deserve. And it broke my heart to hear that. But when things got serious with me and Metal Jesus, that's when I understood what that guy said. And I thought it was so awesome. It makes me just like that guy even more. Not in that way anymore, but I'm just saying like who he is even more so because at that time I didn't know what he meant. And that's what Metal Jesus equals for me. So when Nick Lachey was telling his story from Jessica to Vanessa, that's what I got out of it. And I was like, dude, that's just like so cool. Like, especially to hear a guy talk like that, I think is really cool. Because I'm not saying that men don't like talk that way or have feelings in that way. It's the types of men I've been around my whole life aren't those men, you know? That's why my dating history has been a wreck throughout the years. And I just think it's really, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go find that video and I'm going to link it below so you guys can see Nick Lachey and what he had to say, because I'm butchering it. Well, good morning, Mr. Russo. We were just chit-chatting. You got me up early today.
Well, listen, I am thrilled to be here. Listen, I'm going to teach you something because I don't think you realize this.
Now all the dots are connecting for me.
This is what has happened to me. And I don't even know how I got into this ongoing relationship with God, like you said, through reading his word, through praying and searching. What is it that you put me here for? From that moment on, everything about me changed.
I had to lower my vibration by having some alcohol.
They test you. I'm like, it's wrestling. Who are you testing? You're testing me in professional wrestling? Are you out of your mind?
One question I have for you, and it's something I'm so scared of. So we have to get this in and then I'll let you go. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had a private conversation you guys couldn't handle. So, oh, well.
But they need to know because they've never given you the credit you deserve. You slept in cars. You starved. You slept on people's floors.
Yeah.
Not everyone in this business has done that. That's why I always talk highly of you.
I just did what I had to do to be a wrestler.
I know. That's why I want to help you.
It was good. That was great stuff, man. I wish I would have seen it.
Well, that's all we got for you guys this week. I will be back next week, so stay tuned. And don't forget, tomorrow will be another episode of the Shelly and Stoner Jesus Smokeout. It is live at 11 a.m. Pacific time on X, on Twitch, and what's the third one? On Twitch, and then something else. What is it? I don't know. ShellySJSmokeout.com. All the links are there. And again, you can get access to the bonus stream after the first hour. We go into bonus time with members only, and that's being a vampire VIP or higher on patreon.com/Shelly Martinez. So be there or be square. And until then, I'm Shelly from Cali. She's Minnie the Moocher. And we'll see you guys next week. Adios. Hurry back, and remember to bring your death certificates. Hurry back.
You a little bit nervous today?
Feel great.